It's about that time. You just gotta tell them, man. I can't believe they don't even know. Like, you gotta tell them. You gotta tell the people.
Hey, I don't think you understand. Let me break it down. She's the only one to do it. She's the only one around.
Don't be fooled by her looks. She's like a UFC vet. Put our burdens on her shoulders, held us close to her chest. Homonym's gonna win, honoring promises made. Everyone put your hands up in the sky to be saved. She's begotten, she's not stopping. Lost God's word, she went and copped it. Chunchin' one got prayers popping. Heaven and earth are finally locked in. Only begotten, only begotten, only begotten, only begotten. Daughter of God, daughter of God, daughter of God, daughter of God. Only begotten, only begotten, only begotten, only begotten.
Hello, Colm here from HPHC Ireland Media, and we're guests of UPF Switzerland today, and we've just watched the Swiss Sunday service, and we've seen I don't know if it's the European premiere of the OBD rap. I've got Beatrice here from the Swiss community, and I wanted to get some feedback from her and some other participants here who have been watching the service. And what did you think about this, Beatrice, this OBD rap from Unconditional Productions in America?
I think it was interesting because I never heard before a rap song in the Unification Church, so it was very interesting. And to have another perspective of the songs of the Unification Church, I think it's...
Are you a rap fan, generally?
Not so much, but I like some, so yeah.
Okay, that's great, that's great. And we've also watched Sunday service from the Swiss community today, and I know maybe you're very familiar with the pastor, but what was your takeaway from that? What was your feeling from the Sunday service? What was your reflection or the highlights? Or
I will say my opinion is not so much objective because my father is the pastor, so yeah, it will be, I would say, more emotional. But I like the fact that he goes straight to the point with his service, so it was very great. And
did you learn anything though?
I think it's great to, like, he reminds us to think about the others first, and sometimes just to put ourselves aside and to think more about the others.
Altruism, living for the sake of others. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell the people.
Hey, I don't think you understand. Let me break it down. She's the only one to do it. She's the only one around.
Next, we have Valeria from our Irish community, and I want to ask Valeria the same questions regarding the OBD rap, and I know Valeria's a big rap fan.
Thank you, Cole.
Yeah, what did you think of the OBD rap from Unconditional Productions? Were you beatboxing and jumping around, or what? Tell me the deal.
You can't not jump around to that song, I'm gonna tell you. Definitely. Love the beat, love the effort. Big shout out to Americans. Yeah, we could address them like this. They're amazing, and the production behind it, I'm sure, is huge. I'm not sure what's the purpose of the video, right? It seems very, very church centered. Yeah. So as a member, love it. As a just outside person,
looking at
looking for more.
From an outside perspective,
for more work.
You would have some,
for new videos, new ideas.
Well, thank you for that feedback. So I wanted to ask you also about the service. We just listened to Pastor Arado give a very nice Sunday service, in my opinion, but I guess from somebody who's relatively new to Western Europe, you've been here a couple of years now, but what did you think of it? What was your takeaway? Did you get any inspirations, or could you focus on it even properly in this environment? Because we've just had a very intense sort of workshop here with Michelle, so were you able to really find anything good from that service? Or
it was a lot, yeah, but I feel it was such a nice drop of wisdom in the middle of work, tech stuff. I'm not too much into tech, but I get a lot of inspiration from behind the scenes work. service was amazing. I mean, usually you're searching for that part that you're going to take away with you, the thought you're going to hang on to, and here was plenty, right?
Yeah.
And I love the idea about selfishness. You know, we used to thinking like, yeah, we're not selfish because, you know, I'm trying to think about others before sitting down and enjoying my food. But then you're like, we're still so self-centered, right? When we compare each other, others to us, we're centered on us. When we give an opinion, right? We just talked about the song. How much of, you know, it was it about me and my own like concepts and everything. So the concept of growth, that we have to go out of our comfort zone. Amazing. Sometimes people think that, oh, when the kingdom of heaven will be here, we don't have to do anything, just going to sit around and be perfect. But I think, I don't know, what do you think, Colin?
Well, I'm just going to say you would recommend that people watch that service.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the Swiss family have their services online,
Absolutely.
but you would recommend somebody going along to a service in Geneva here or Lausanne or wherever and finding out more information. And I thought I was very impressed actually that it was in English because I don't speak French. So, but yeah, I think if that's the quality of message, I would be excited to come to the Swiss service. Thank you for your feedback and for your reflection.
She's the only one around.
Don't be fooled by her looks, she's like a UFC vet. Put our burdens on her shoulders, held us close to her chest. Homonym's gonna win.
Next we have Matthias from HPHC Ireland, from Northern Ireland. Matthias, you've just watched the OBD rap. What do you think?
Could approach this from several angles. I'm going to approach it, I'm going to put on a critic hat. I'm going to look at it from a perspective of all the elements contained and kind of where all of it comes together. For example, one of the first things I notice is the use of the acronym OBD. Now, if you look in regular rap culture, you have like BIG or OB Trace. So it's always these short form with acronyms and initials that you use. So that was an interesting use of naming there, placeholder names. The next thing I know, this is of course general in rap culture and stuff, they give themselves some titles, stage names if you may. So, and then all the other sort of production elements and stuff, well done in that regard. Now, if we step back and take it from a sort of different point of view, if you're not a general rap fan, and if you're not paying too much attention, because there are rap music, there are rap songs within the genre that resonate with a wide variety of people for comedic purposes or just sort of a escapist or for a distraction. I wouldn't necessarily say this would cater for them, because for the creators of the piece of rap, they have a specific message they're trying to get across, and they're trying to sort of introduce certain concepts into general culture as such. So, I mean, of course, I can see who it's catering for, and it's kind of for that sort of...
Are you a rap fan yourself?
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
But I come from it from a sort of as a literary critic,
Right.
and from a literary critic point of view, you're looking at all the elements, and you kind of see the sort of social context, socio-economic, cultural, political context in which those elements emerge.
Okay.
Which is why I was bringing up the OBD bit. It rolls off. It very much falls in line with everything else that comes into rap culture. So the people rapping in there, they're giving sort of this honorific to the subject matter of the rap. So from that point of view, it's sort of well coordinated. Now, for all other like commercial purposes,
what's your musical tastes yourself?
Well, a little bit more on house side, so a bit of boomboxing and beat there. I mean, when in my younger days, I was what everybody would know as a break dancer and stuff. So I would have been acquainted with hip hop, the four elements of hip hop, which are I might get this wrong, so anybody who is a genuine hip hop attaché aficionado, please forgive me. But b-boying, graffiti, MCing, DJing, rap, or graffitiing. I'm not quite sure what the order is, but somewhere in that neighborhood. So,
But tell me, was your foot tapping along, or could you see yourself, you know,
not so much with the
in the
music.
kitchen maybe with the kids dancing around to that, or is that a stretch? Is that too far? Is it a stretch too far?
Kind of.
And if not, why not?
Well, I did sort of
Cut to the chase.
cut to the chase. There was a period where I was doing in the street dancing. I mean, I was in a country where hip hop sort of was still emerging. So with the movie,
Where was that?
in the small country of Equatorial Guinea. This is a Spanish-speaking country within Africa. My family had sort of moved there very early on, so I kind of saw how culture was developing from that point on. Back to the whole sort of OBD rap music. Depending on who you speak to, if you're speaking to a young unificationist who's trying to feel at home with the sort of family tradition that they're bringing with them, that ties in very much with unificationist principles, I wouldn't be entirely sure they would be comfortable with showing this with their friends, unless their friends couldn't care less.
Right.
And then it's just for a laugh or something like that.
okay.
You know, from a production point of view, it's great.
So it's a
well
nice,
done.
it's a nice tribute, but it might struggle to get a wider audience.
Exactly, yeah.
That's great. Thank you for that feedback, and you've obviously got a vast technical knowledge of you know, house and that type of genre. I'd be more old school rock and roll myself, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'd like to ask you about the service that we just watched as well. What did you think of Pastor Radomir's service? We watched it maybe, I don't know, half an hour ago or so. I mean, was there anything that resonated with you, or could you, I mean...
Oh yeah, 100%. So, for example, he uses keywords and I'm forgetting the word now, but words that hook, like psychological. And he's spot on when he says that, you know, for example, the concept of sacrifice, it appears to not take into account the psychological aspect of self-preservation. And this might be a big struggle for people who may go against this trend, but that's sort of a core teaching within all major religious traditions. So I can see him there bridging the gap between the what is generally accepted and what is sort of more niche and on the side, and the religious component of it. I mean, one of the key teachings of, for example, unificationist principles are that the essence of science and the essence of religion need to be united, need to work together, and they're actually complementary.
Okay.
Contrary to what most people believe, where science and religion are completely at odds with each other. They actually complement each other. So, and it's clear, for me, it was clear in the way the pastor was sort of bringing out science and bringing out the religious aspect, and sort of making a good point that no, sacrifice is actually instrumental to our survival, and self-preservation is not. It is just there as sort of an automatic cue to keep going, but it is not the center of things. Because this is another point of unification, and is that once the center shifts towards an individual, in a sense, and in a more dramatic terms, everything is lost. But yeah, so that my general take is on he blended very well the two points of view.
That was great. Thank you so much, Matthias, for your contribution there. I really appreciate that feedback. Next, we have Michelle Raymond, who is our trainer this weekend for HPHC Ireland Media, and he's from the Swiss UPF, and I would like to ask him some questions about the OBD rap and his impression of today's service, the Swiss service. He's a long-time Swiss unificationist. So, Michel, what did you think of the OBD rap? Are you a rap fan?
Not really.
No.
So, hello, nice to have you in Geneva. And yeah, the song was a surprise to me to hear the quality of the production, I think was really up to a professional standard of music. The only, I would say, impairment, or I don't know how to say in English, is is the message which will not be understood by the large public, probably, because the only begotten daughter, it's a new term that is given to the world by the unificationist community. And this is something new, and in a way, it's a way to go through this spreading a new name, a new awareness. And if we never know if a radio station feels inspired and start to put it, and it's going viral, it's the only. It's the. I would be very happy. Of course, we would be very happy, all of us.
Yeah, thank you for that. We've just listened to a Sunday service from Pastor Rado, and of course, it would be the first time I would have heard him. Maybe I've heard him before, of course, but not so often. Maybe once or twice. And same for our other participants today. You, however, he's your national pastor, so you've been listening to him. I would imagine many times. So, were you able to focus today with all the excitement in our seminar, or is there always something you take away from his services? Because I know he's actually doing his doctorate now, and he's been in the Unification UTS, or HJ International as it's now called. So he's very vast knowledge of scripture and world religions, and I was actually looking forward to hearing him, and I was so happy he spoke in English as well, because my French is non-existent almost. So, but for you, I mean, what did you think about today's message, and in general about Pastor Radomir Stanchev? Is he somebody that you always find inspirational, or is it difficult for him to give a service every week? I presume he does it very often, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, since he's a national pastor, he was also the regional pastor for the French-speaking area before that, and he maintained a tradition of giving a Sunday service every Sunday, even for a small community of Geneva, of few families. And today the sermon we heard, so he not only he's doing the Unification Theological Seminary, but he did at the University of Geneva Faculty of Theology 5 or 6 years to get the Protestant theological cursus from the University of Geneva that was founded by John Calvin 450 years ago.
Wow.
So he did a distance learning and a residential learning too, plus his family life, the mission, doing some income, with working in a restaurant. So
and soon we will have to call him Doctor.
Doctor. But the good point is always try in his sermon to give a practical point.
Okay.
And for example, today, like the unselfishness, like emulating God's way of creation and living for the sake of others on the absolute standard. If we get closer to that standard of giving instead of complaining or expecting the world to move for me, if I'm just thinking, what can I do today for others instead that others do it for me? So I think it's the key point I have is you can solve a bit of your problem by thinking of others rather than just focusing on the problems, which the problem will be solved maybe later in a different way, but at least we are less affected maybe by something if we think of others.
Okay, thank you for that. And I would like to thank all our participants today in the interview, and I just wanted to comment myself that I really enjoyed the service, and some of the comments that Pastor Stanchev made regarding theologians having to explain the time we're living in, and I think it ties in nicely with the OBD message, which is the new theological message from unificationism, from Mother Moon. So I was grateful for his wit and the charm of the delivery that Pastor Stanchev was able to use in his service, and I'm amazed that every week he can produce something. But thank you for your comments and for your feedback, everybody, today. Beatrice and Matthias and Michelle, and also Valeria You wanted to say
No,
some
for me
remark?
it was a very nice encounter this weekend with Valeria Matthias, who is now behind the production
Desk.
video desk, mixing the
Mixing
cameras
desk, yeah.
for us. And I think we have much to learn from each other, and I'm very enthusiastic that we meet again. I really appreciated your enthusiasm. You came all the way. We just decided 2-3 weeks ago to make a video exchange workshop here in Geneva. You came with your computers and your suitcase, and we will see a little clip. I will make a little review clip for of this weekend that you can show to the community.
I think I speak for all of us when I say we're always excited to come to Geneva and to Switzerland. So we thank you for being such a wonderful host and for
Thank you.
such great training. It's difficult to take it all in, but thank you so much, Michelle, and
Thank you.
UPF Switzerland.
Maybe we finish with a bit of more of the OBD song.
Yeah.
Realize it ain't enough to demilitarize. The Korean War must end. The moon is on the rise. With tears in her eyes, time is flying fast. Leave the last of violence in the past. Chongqing one, you will be
didn't
done.
notice
From
the
the
word
sea
before. I
to the
was
sun.
not-
Come on,
It
guys,
was
respect
great.
the sign. Unify into one as she speaks. Kyo Jung, only roads where she trods. Mother of peace, Anna Ja, only begotten, daughter of God, only begotten, only begotten, only begotten, only begotten, daughter of God, daughter of God, daughter of God, daughter of God.
I don't like rap, but this
Well,
one I like it.
That's why I don't like it, because you can't invest in it, because the words are so terrible. But actually, this is a game changer for me.
Yeah.
But that's only one song. But still, it's the start. You know, I think it's great. But the purists, though, they're not so impressed. I mean, the symbol, they have a gun symbol, you know. This is what they're doing. It's a gun. So we have Top Gun symbol. What are we? A Top Gun